Hello everyone, Genesis Writer here with another Genesis tips and tricks video. Today I'll be looking at some racing tips and tricks on how you can race better in the new Community Forge Race playlist, which is going to be available till this following Monday. I'm currently at 45 CSR in the playlist, and I got some tips and tricks to share with you guys. However, we're going to first start out with me in a custom game alone. Then we're going to move on to two other films where the first one, it's a very close game. The second one is actually quite a hilarious game. And so I hope this video is not just entertaining, but helps you understand how to race better on mongooses in a variety of Forge maps. Now, off the start here, I'm alone in this game on the map Ravine, but the map itself is called Ridgecrest, as you can see, and I'm on a race practice field. We're not having zones that I run through, and that'll be different, obviously, in theater. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how I found to perform better in racing. But we're going to start off with me doing something that a lot of people normally do in racing that is bad, and that is holding forward on your movement stick, okay? And I'm going to do that throughout this entire lap. I'm going to attempt to do that, okay? And what you're going to see here from me doing this lap, and this map, of course, is very short, is that I'm going to end up running into walls, and I'm going to end up really going off the course and flipping. And again, I'm never slowing down here. I'm always pressing forward on my movement stick, and I'm going to attempt to do the entire one lap this way, and it's a very short course. So I'm gonna turn right here and try to make it there, and I didn't quite make it. I hit the wall there, and so now we've done just one lap, doing it that way. Now this is the incorrect way to race, all right? And this map specifically, not only is it short and gives a really good example of this being the incorrect way to race, because it has so many sharp turns. So now I'm going to run through the map the correct way, okay? So I'm going to run through it the correct way, and then on the third lap, and that'll be the final lap we do in this little short first piece and section of this video, and I'll explain to you what I'm doing in the third lap. So I'm going to do it correctly the second lap, or try. And you should notice a difference that I'm not actually running into walls or anything, but I am slowing down around the corners, and I'll explain what I'm doing in just a second here. This is obviously not the absolute fastest lap I've ever had on this map, but it's going to be way faster than the lap I previously did, and hopefully that is very apparent and readily obvious in the video here. So you can see I got through that lap much more quickly and smoothly. Now, what did I do? Okay, you know I'm not holding the forward movement stick the entire time, and this is key, okay? So on these long straight sections like this, like the one I'm on right now, okay, you do want to hold forward on your movement stick the entire way, all right? Go as fast as possible, because the mongoose picks up speed, but essentially this is the slowest you can go, this is the fastest you can go, and once you get and you're almost reaching these high speeds, the mongoose accelerates more slowly to reach the absolute maximum speed. You have to be going straight and going very fast and holding forward on your movement stick for a long time to actually hit that maximum mongoose speed. So you do want to take advantage on that on these long straight sections. But on turns, because the mongoose can be going so fast and can flip so easily, you do want to tap off of your movement stick. And that is what I'm doing. So I'm going to say tap every time I briefly remove my left thumb from the movement stick. Tap. Okay. Tap. Tap. So I did 2 on that one, on that turn. I'm just taking my thumb off the movement stick. Tap. I'm going up here. And what I'm doing during these sections, tap. Tap. Is I'm being able to take these turns much more. Tap. I mean, it's really, really fast, as you can see. Because I'm just literally tapping off of my movement stick, I'm able to take those turns just much more quickly. For whatever reason, when you tap off of the movement stick, I think you're able to turn your viewpoint maybe even a little faster when you're not going forward necessarily. You see how when I'm moving from left to right, it's much more harder to turn my movement, but when I'm not, I can turn really fast, you see? So I can turn really fast and just re-maneuver myself around a corner much more quickly. So guys, now that I've shared that sort of tips and tricks with you, let's move on to a very close film that I had on the Forge World of Erosion. So now we're on the first sort of theater mode game that I have for you guys in race. Now, as you can see, we're going to start off here by kind of analyzing this. The racers do not start out all equal. In other words, they don't all start out in one straight line. Some people start out behind, some people start out a little bit ahead. It really is kind of unfair on some maps more than others, but essentially that's how it is. I'm just wanting to point out, though, that if you come in second place because the person in front of you spawned at the front of the pack and just happened to keep the front of the pack the entire game, it isn't necessarily fair, but there's not much you can do about that. Now, on top of all that, we're going to start by going through this first initial section, and I don't end up doing too well on some of these turns, as you could see there. I could have made that turn much more quickly. I could have slowed down a lot more here and made that turn much more quickly like these people ahead of me are doing, and I really needed to do that. And as you can see, we're running through zones here. So I have 3 people ahead of me right now, and unfortunately on this map, I actually make a mistake and actually end up running through here. You actually want to go around here and make this turn really quickly and make this turn really quickly right here. And you'll see me do that, but this is incorrect. I should have made this turn a lot more quickly, not go on up on that little ledge. Do you see that guy kind of do there? And even this red guy right here, how he went all the way out to the right, that's again not what you want to be doing. You want to try to be making these turns as quickly as possible. Now, these turns that you're seeing right here, you can go almost at full speed while making these turns. It's turns like this that you're about to see that you want to slow down just a little bit for, and the turn we're making all right here around this corner. Notice how I made this more and more quickly around, or took the turn even tighter than all of these other people because they're out on the left and I'm more out on the right, and that's definitely what I want to be doing. So I'm really trying to get ahead of these other players who are just ahead of me right here, and incentive is right here. And you can see they all don't take this turn correctly, and then Tundra Wolf is just barely ahead of me. I push him just barely out of the way, and that's one thing you can do, is that if you are, and I actually back up the film just a little bit here. If you are right next to someone, okay, and you take a turn like this, and they're not taking the turn tight enough, push into their back wheel, okay? And I'm not saying turn into their back wheel, but they're going to be trying to turn more tightly than you are. And what they're going to end up doing as you come around the corner is they're going to turn and be pushed out of the way, just like you see me do here. All right, it's very important to understand that. And this actually ends up, I believe, basically winning me the game. Now, right here, you can see I almost eventually turned to the right there and went off there. But it's only 3 laps, so we're on the 2nd lap right now. Trying to make this turn really tightly. Incentive is right behind me during this entire game. Really trying to take these turns tightly, let off of my movement stick at the specific times. And you can actually hear it in the background. I'll raise the volume here. So notice how my engine levels is going sort of up and down, and kind of, you know, going, and then when it falls like that, that's when I'm taking my thumb off of the movement stick, or I'm turning too quickly and I'm stalling out. And you don't want to stall out when you're going too quickly and you try to make a turn too fast, because that can lead to you slowing down or spinning out or even sometimes slipping over. But as you can see right here, I barely end up winning this game, and it's pretty insane as this guy is right behind me, and I did spawn at behind everyone in that game. So now let's move on to a more kind of exciting map and a more crazy race game. So guys, here's the 3rd and final theater mode film I wanted to show you. We're on the Forge World of Impact, and we're looking at a race map called Kosmos, and this map is ridiculously awesome. It's just really, really well designed. An unfortunate part about the map, though, is that some of the pieces of the track are a little narrow, but this game ended up happening very cool. So we're almost about to reach the 2nd lap, and this jump right here is something I want to get your eyes kind of used to. So we're almost at the end of the 1st lap, and I am at the front of the pack. There's a guy not too far behind me. This is the beginning of the course right here. This guy's not too far behind me. As you can see, we're going to go back along the track and look at kind of his position. He's right here. He's really not that far behind me. So going through this map, one of the things I wanted to mention here, a little plug, is that Halo Waypoint's bulletin has a place in one of their previous bulletins where they list all of the maps that are currently in the Community Forge Race playlist. So if you want to download those, I'm going to link the bulletin link in the description. Scroll down a little bit through the bulletin and you'll find hyperlinks to all of the maps currently in the Forge Race playlist, which is really nice because that's how I got my 45 CSR in the playlist. Is essentially I practiced these maps, all of the maps, for 10 minutes each before I even went into the playlist. So that's how I'm so proficient at these maps. Not obviously the best, but how I was able to practice and get pretty good at them. Again, this map is amazing. It's just that there's not enough turns like the ones you're seeing right now where I'm making this really sharp turn and it shows some good elements of driving. Now, right here is something really important to understand about Kosmos. There are two paths you can take here. One on the right, as you can see here, that goes all the way over here and up to there. And then you can see this sort of left-hand side path. And the left-hand side path, while it's easier to make, it is slower. So as you're coming over this jump right here, you really do want to be angling to the right here. All right, it's very important to understand that. And it is a faster track path on the right here. And it's going to become far more apparent as you're going to see this third lap. Now, what you're about to witness is something that's really unfortunate about this map, and that is this jump right here is kind of glitched in the aspect of sometimes when you go over it, and I'm not slowing down at all during this jump, you will flip randomly, like you do right here. Again, this is really unfortunate because what it means is that, or what I thought it meant when this occurred to me is that, oh, okay, I have to throw myself off the map because I'm not going to be able to make this jump in time. Surprisingly enough, this is incorrect, right? This is a very advanced strategy you want to show to you guys, because if this happens to you, it literally screws you over in a race. Once two or three people get ahead of you, especially in the last lap, you're not going to get first place. What I should have done in this scenario is I should have kept off of my mongoose, and yes, I think in less than 10 seconds you will teleport, your mongoose will teleport back to you. But this is something really advanced I didn't know. I didn't have to throw myself off the map. When I throw myself off the map here, I end up respawning all the way back at the previous zone, okay, right here, which is really unfortunate. And by that time, the other guy has already passed me. What I should have done is should have kept off of my mongoose, run and sprinted over this gap, stood in this little zone just on the very left or very right, okay, and waited for my mongoose to respawn to me. I'm such an idiot for whatever reason, because I thought that this was like Rocket Race, where you're the passenger in the back, and if you stay off of your mongoose for long enough, you teleport to your driver. That isn't how it works in race. In race, the mongoose teleports to you. So why am I saying all this? Well, if I ran and sprinted across and into this zone and passed through this zone, I wouldn't have actually gone through this zone, okay? What I mean by that is the zone wouldn't have counted. You must be on your mongoose and go through the zone, and you must go through the zones in order for them to count. So that's why I sit here and wait for my mongoose to teleport to me while I'm standing in the zone right here, so that the zone actually counts. But I was such an idiot because I get back on my mongoose, and the first thing that goes to my head is I gotta throw myself off the map as fast as possible so that I respawn. And unfortunately, what this means is that I respawn with the third guy, the guy who's in third place right behind me, and now the guy who's in second place is actually way ahead of me right here. It has made this jump, and so now I have to catch up with him. But this is the part where it gets really interesting, because essentially I know this guy's ahead of me, and I know I'm in second place now because I made a dumb maneuver, and I didn't realize how I could have, you know, made that maneuver better until way later when I rewatched the film several times and saw another person fall off the map in the same way and then just sprint across. So it's interesting. You must be on your mongoose when you do this, but because you're the driver, the mongoose teleports to you like I just said. But now I have to catch up with this guy during this third lap. This is the third and final lap. I have to make these turns really, really quickly. Again, slowing down, almost turn out there, or skid out, should I say. I'm going to make this jump pretty quickly. You can go into this jump, that sort of lift jump, full speed, and it'll shoot you forwards. And again, I'm just trying to make my turns very tightly here, trying to make these turns very quickly. Slow down here so I can make this turn, and then I speed up very quickly. I'm going to make this jump as straight and as fast as I can, so that mongoose doesn't turn in midair and I end up flipping over. If you make the jump at an angle, that's what can happen, is your mongoose can flip over in midair. again, I'm going to go to the right here, going to go to the right, and this is really cool because this is a great example. This guy is this far ahead of me, okay? Look where he is on the track, look where I am on the track. And this is how much I catch up with him just because I'm using the faster path, okay? The faster right-hand side path. Now, right here, when he's about to hit this corner, he does kind of hit the corner edge right here, and it does kind of make him slow down a little bit. But because he used that left-hand side path, you can see just how much I was able to catch up with him. So I'm trying to get around him, but he does a really good job of pushing me to the right here, and I'm really afraid, oh my gosh, I'm going to flip on this jump here because you never know. So we both don't flip, and I make a really, really good decision here, and that is to make this turn and try to cut him off on the inside of the turn and try to get on this sort of blue path on the inside. And that's exactly what I end up doing. He's going too fast and can't make the turn fast enough, and I'm ahead of him, okay? I'm ahead of him right now, and we're both, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, we're both at 36 laps, or I'm sorry, 36 zones that we've gone through. This is the final lap. Whoever makes it through the next zone first, or not the next zone, but the zone after this one, okay, this next zone right here wins. And as you can see, I'm clearly ahead of this enemy player, all right? Just going to slow this down frame by frame, and you can see that right here, okay, he somehow enters the zone more quickly than I do, okay? But I am ahead of him right now, all right? So the only explanation I can see for this is lag, all right? Because I am ahead of him, and I should have won this race. I went through the zone more quickly, and I go through, and I'm in second place, all right? And what's also a little bit puzzling to me is the 800, 600, 300, 1,000 score deal. I'm not sure how that works out because, as you can see, my score is 35 right here, all right? I have 35 laps. So how do we get to the end of the race? And again, I'll just kind of play this at normal speed. And then suddenly our score is, 1,800, 600. I'm not exactly sure on that. If someone could explain in the comment section below how I got second place in this race, that'd be amazing. Because all I have to assume here is that it's lag. So I don't know if falling off the map actually reduces your score. I'm not sure. Okay, it doesn't really seem like that to me. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this race and this racing video, and it helped give you tips and tricks on how you can perform better in this Community Forge race playlist. I'm a 45 CS on the playlist, and I'm going to try to get to a 50. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next capture or whatever end up recording. Peace.